The pressure's on you, Big Perk. Sneaky Hembo's got this one for you. We're talking about Ben Simmons, who is the only player with more steals than he has since he came in the league in 2017.
Man, Greeny, this is a hard one, and you know what? I'm gonna go with Jimmy Butler on this one. I'm gonna go with Jimmy Butler.
That's a very good guess. He's close, but he's not the right answer. The right answer is Russell Westbrook.
Oh!
Russell Westbrook has 471, but James Harden, Paul George, and Jimmy Butler are all right there. You were extremely close. But as Hembo would say, close does not put the ball in the basket. And unfortunately, neither does this guy. The future of Ben Simmons in Philadelphia is very much in doubt after his team crashed out of the playoffs on Sunday. Yesterday, his coach, Doc Rivers, addressed what the team and Simmons need to do this offseason. Listen to what he said.
I believe, without going in detail what we're doing, I believe we know what the right work is and the right type of work and the right way to do it. After being here for a year, I really do believe we've identified what and how, and now we have to do the do part. We have to work to do it. It's not going to be an easy job, but it's definitely a job that Ben can do.
I'm fascinated by this, Big Perk, and Brian Windhorst joins us here. Windy, what do we think he's talking about this work that they know they need to do, and it's a question of doing it?
Well, I can't say for sure exactly what Doc was talking about, but I can tell you what one of the leading suggestions to Ben Simmons is within the organization and within his circle, and that is to switch shooting hands, to go from shooting primarily left-handed to shooting right-handed. This is something that has been on the plate for Ben Simmons for a long time now. He's obviously had issues with shooting since he came into the NBA, and he has been very reluctant to consider this. He is ambidextrous. He does do some things right-handed, and there's some belief that maybe he's shooting with the wrong hand. Now, that is a big ask of any player to make. It's especially a big ask of somebody who's prideful and resistant, and if he is prideful and resistant about it, it won't work. But I definitely think it's something that is going to be discussed and brought to him over this offseason.
Remarkable. You know, our friend Jalen Rose, the week that we launched this show, so in April of 2018, said right here on Get Up, our friend Rose Stradamus said he's shooting with the wrong hand. I mean, Jalen has been saying that literally that long. So Big Perk, I mean, this is a 24-year-old man who's obviously played a lot of basketball in his life. Can you do that at this point? Can you change hands?
No, you can't do that. And look, at this point, he is who he is, and we're asking for too much out of him for shooting-wise. He just might not be a shooter, and that's okay. Change his position. Put him back to the power forward position that he played in college at LSU as a dual forward that could drop dimes and facilitate for others. A guy that's rolling to the basket. Ben Simmons has to get his confidence back. I'm not talking about whether he can shoot or not, but just attacking the paint and just finishing layups. And you know what Ben Simmons has to do? He has to look himself in the mirror and have some type of accountability. And when I say that, this offseason, he probably needs to take a break from social media, from all the distractions, lock himself in the gym, go to an isolated area, and work on his game. And that's not just shooting, that's overall. On the low block, finishing layups, going through dribble handoffs, lob threat, being a lob to the basket. That's what Ben Simmons needs, not to change his damn shooting hand.
Absolutely. And Wendy, quickly, before I move on to other things, as an insider with us here, Magic Johnson said yesterday on the show they need to trade him. Big Perk suggested that he would be best off with a fresh start. What if the Sixers decided they wanted to explore trading him? How would that look?
Well, they could probably trade him to anywhere of 10 places right now. There'd be a huge demand for him, but not at the value of an all-star under a 4-year guaranteed no-out contract. So that's really the challenge. And the wild card here, Greeny, Joel Embiid is due a contract extension this offseason. And if the Sixers ask his opinion on this, how he decides to answer that question could determine the next step with Ben Simmons.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.